Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rainbows and Bullshit. I am joined today for the second time by the amazing. Can I just say your name, because I love saying your name. Everyone I've ever said, when I've said your name to people, like your full name, everyone's like, that is the best name in the world.
Yeah.
So James Devine. Oh
it's a nice name, isn't it?
Such a good
Very
name.
grateful for that. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So James, tell us about yourself.
Well, as you say, second time, because we did this podcast
We did.
and then Whoosh deleted it.
I'm so sorry. I didn't delete it on
I wish you
purpose.
just said it wasn't very good and we could have agreed to do it again, but instead he deleted it, so then forced me to come back. So, no, I always hate that question. Introduce yourself. So, all I'd say, so I'm a partner at Corn Ferry Consulting, so we do lots of consultancy work with the NHS. Before that, did kind of a similar role at KPMG, and then had like a long career in HR in the NHS before that, like 25 years in the NHS, which I love. Yeah, I continue to love the NHS. I think it's just one of those things that once you work in it for such a long time, it's just part of you. So then everything that you then do kind of has the kind of NHS at the heart of it.
Yeah.
And then having a husband who's a physio in the NHS, you can imagine the healthy debates.
Yeah. You're like the power couple in the NHS.
Oh,
like,
I don't know about that.
We
We agree on a lot of stuff,
but you disagree on a lot of stuff.
For sure. I think it's healthy in a relationship to not just nod along and say, yeah, you're right.
100%.
But yeah, we have lots of healthy discussions. We actually talked the other day about, should we do a podcast together?
Oh my god, would you have me on it?
We should.
I would love that.
We said about having like a guest just to kind of prompt the conversation,
but it could just be you two, right?
I don't know, I'd be concerned. It'd be like fisticuffs.
Yeah, well, but the people would listen to that.
It'd be good fun, wouldn't it? It's like rating TV for sure. Yeah.
Because your brand, and I say your brand because we're talking about like, you know, your
personal
network
brand,
is very much. I remember when you were the CPO at Kent and Medway NHS
in
Trust.
Medway,
and then you became the CEO, and I was so inspired by that trajectory because it's virtually unheard of. It's so rare. I mean, it's becoming more. I think it's happening more now, but at the time that, you know, when you were taken on the CEO role, to see a HR leader then take on a broader organizational role as CEO, you know, it was something that I was like, oh my god, I was so inspired by that.
It was never my intention to be chief exec. It was kind of right place, right time in many respects. So obviously I was the deputy chief exec alongside the CPO role.
Yes.
And I was then asked to kind of step into the role once the chief exec was leaving, initially just for kind of 6 months whilst they were kind of recruiting to the job. And it was never my intention. I met lots of different people about it, and I thought, I don't think it's for me. And the board hadn't at that point given any indication about applying for the job.
Right.
So I kind of just thought, I'll get on with it for 6 months, be a great experience, and then see who comes in. And then you always have that conversation about, you know, can you work for that person, and do they want you, and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. And then the chairman said, we talked about it as a board, and we'd really like you to apply for the job. So I did, and obviously then got the job.
Wow.
Did it for like best part of 3 years, but obviously the chunk of that time was COVID.
Yeah.
So
God, yes,
it was like the best and worst of times to be a chief exec.
In health, in the NHS.
Yeah. I think I said this before, I always describe it as like the best and worst job that I ever had.
Yeah, you did. You have said that.
The ability to kind of shape healthcare and be accountable for, you know, a hospital of nearly 600 beds and like 4,500 amazing people that work there. There's quite something about that, and doing it in your local area as well.
Of course.
The worst bits during COVID were really, really difficult because no one knew what to do. It wasn't like you could ring up someone and say, oh, hi, how did you deal with the last pandemic? Do you know what I mean? You didn't have that. So everyone was kind of struggling and kind of finding their way. And I remember getting to the end of the pandemic and just thinking, God, I want to do something else now. I can't see myself being a chief exec for the next like 20 or 30 years. And just by pure chance, literally a week later, someone contacted me about the KPMG job and said, have you ever thought about this?
Yeah.
It was just really kind of serendipitous in terms of timing.
Of course. I mean, it is an inspiring trajectory. I think one thing I really admire about your journey, James, is that you HR, obviously, and we will talk about HR, actually.
We must talk about HR because we're in the presence of Rory here, number 2 most influential person.
I mean, thank you. That's the first time anyone's mentioned it on the podcast since my...
oh, really?
Since I've got it,
Glad I was
we
the
will
first
definitely
to do
talk about that. But one thing I love is that you have built your career from an HR perspective, but you've then taken it into other areas like strategic consulting and then obviously being a CEO. But of course, you bring that, for me, you're an HR inspiration. So yeah, that's just something I reflected on when we were thinking about your trajectory. And of course, you have just been indicted into the Hall of Fame for HR Most Influential.
Nice.
Where's
feeling.
Where's the cape? Where's the?
I know. Getting a lifetime achievement award at age 45. I'm thinking to myself, where do I go now?
Oh, what's
next?
I completely hear
Where
that.
do I go now? I was saying to Carissa, obviously the editor of HR magazine, these sorts of things you get when you're like,
I know.
I'm 45 years old. And then
You've kind of cancelled me out.
Basically.
You're like, where else can I go?
But then I think to myself, as I said to you before, like when you win or get awarded stuff like that, I don't know why, but there's always this point in my head that's like, oh no, are people going to be like really critical or judgmental of it? And I don't think you ever kind of lose that almost imposter syndrome element of it. But then I thought to myself, next year I will have been in the world of work for 30 years.
Yeah.
I literally left school at 16, so I'll be 46 next year. And I think actually 30 years worth of work and contribution, much 100%. Of which has been in the NHS and in HR, most of it, or HR related stuff. I thought, okay, do you know what? 100%. I'm going to take it. I'm going to fully embrace it. And I always feel like I'm at this point now, I don't know whether it's age or just maturity or whatever, where you just think, do you know what?
Yeah.
You do you.
100%.
And I'll do me.
And that journey, James, is so inspiring. Like, you literally went into the NHS. What was your first job?
Yeah, so I was 16. I left school and joined on an apprenticeship of its day. It was called like Youth Training Scheme, which is you were paid like £55 a week, but you did like your NVQ kind of qualifications alongside
it, right?
And I remember I had one job in Raynham, which is near where I live, for 15 hours a week, and then they had 15 hours a week in Chatham, like 5 miles away, and then another one in Strood for like 7.5 hours to make up a full-time job. And I used to walk in between the two organisations, which are like 3 to 5 miles apart, because when you're earning £55
a week, 100%.
Yeah, everything else is really expensive. And then I kind of saved some money, and then 3 months later moved out. I thought, independent, want to do my own thing. Like growing up was like quite tough, like for our family, so I just wanted to get out really, and moved out, and then kind of never went back.
Wow.
And just lived off this money that I was generating from the NHS.
That's amazing.
My brother and I had some paper rounds, so we were kind of splitting that, and then we developed this egg round.
Right.
So we'd buy eggs from a farm at say 60p for 12, and then we'd sell them for £1.20.
Oh, wow.
But we used our paper round as a customer
to sell the
base.
eggs?
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
we
God,
would
that's
take
amazing.
The egg. Yeah.
You're a proper little entrepreneur.
I know. Yeah.
You should be on The Apprentice.
I should be, right?
I mean,
I'm too old now.
Well, no, you never. Well, you're not actually.
No.
You've got a lifetime achievement award at 45.
I would be in the overs category now. On the
Oh
X
my God, the
Factor.
overs, an X Factor.
I know. I'd be in the overs.
But the overs was bad because you know what the overs category? The overs category was over 25.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think about that now, that's
just completely ageist, isn't it?
bad.
So wrong. But so joined 16, and then had really great career that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, it's amazing.
Met lots of really brilliant people along the way, and spent a lot of time growing the network, which obviously we'll talk about, and kind of my love of networks, but also pet peeves about how people abuse networks and stuff.
Well, let's get into it. So let's go into the first topic that you've checked in. So authenticity. I have so many thoughts, my views on some of this, but tell me why you chose that word and what it means to you.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why. I think people can sniff out, to use your title of this podcast, people can sniff out
bullshit.
BS.
Love
Absolutely.
it.
And I think there's so many examples where you see a version of somebody online and then you meet them in person and they're like, oh,
Right.
the world's apart from this.
Yeah. Keyboard warriors also.
Yeah. So I've always felt that you always want to write your own stuff. You want to, create updates which are kind of real about the kind of good things and the bad things that happen along your kind of professional career, and always be kind of very honest about it. And I think that to me is that really, really important, that the two things match up. Your online persona matches up with who you are in person.
100%. It's like dating.
Yeah. What it is though, isn't it? It's like catfish.
I can tell
moments.
you so many examples of where your online persona has not matched up to.
Yeah, but I think that'd be another podcast. That'd be another one. But I do think the importance of being authentic. So that's the first reason, and then the second reason is just like, I think as you kind of live your life, you get more confident at being authentically you.
Right.
And we've talked about this before, about the expectation that you might or people might have of you because of your family dynamic, your kind of religious backgrounds,
assumptions.
And I think it takes a lot sometimes for people to be mature enough in themselves and confident enough in themselves to be authentic.
Yeah.
So I think the more we can talk about authenticity in its truest form, I think we should.
Yeah, absolutely. What is authenticity to you?
Yeah, so I think when I was kind of developing my career, I always kept my sort of personal life and work life separate, and felt that you could just kind of run along with having these kind of two almost separate things. I didn't really tell people at work very much about myself personally, and I kind of learned over time that that's just not reality, and the two things will always come together. And I think I'm very open more now, where I just talk about personal life, home life, and kind of mix the two. So I often talk about Josh a lot in conversations. I talk about the boys, Jack and Max, quite regularly during conversations, whereas for a long time, like during my kind of maturity, I guess, over the years, I didn't talk about the boys. And there's still some red lines, like I don't really ever post pictures of the boys on social media, because in my head I'm still like, do people use things against you?
Right,
because it had kind of a few examples of that over time. So I'm still a little bit cautious about kind of oversharing,
right?
But I think to be authentic, I'm going to talk about Josh,
of course,
and the boys.
Yeah, no, that's really profound, and thank you for sharing. I think authenticity for me, it's really interesting. And you said, well, as you get older, you said as you get older, you get more confident, right?
Yeah.
And I can really relate to this. But I've also found that as I've got older, I've actually become less, not confident, but I think as the world has changed around me, it's almost like you rediscover yourself, in this new world. And certainly the world of work, that concept of bring your whole self to the workplace. Now, I have spoke to Simon, the CEO of Stone, about this, because when he was on my podcast on the issue of what does that mean and what expectation is there for us to bring what parts of ourselves we are bringing into the workplace or what we're not. Where are you on that bring your whole self to work aspect?
So I love the ethos of it, and you and the organisation benefit, and people around you benefit from that. You not have these sort of weights on your back that you feel you can't express yourself fully. However, it's really, I think, unless you're in that situation, it's really difficult to articulate what it means to be kind of held back. And so everyone has a role, I think, to kind of create that comfortable, kind of psychologically safe environment. But you have to feel confident in that environment to be able to kind of share who you are. And I think we talked about this a little bit last time, where I felt that things were kind of really progressing particularly for those who identify as like LGBT, right? I have felt like in the last year, though, maybe a couple of years, I don't know, you kind of having to like
rein that in a little bit.
And that saddens me a lot.
It is sad, isn't it?
Because you go through your life accepting who you are eventually, You kind of grow up hiding who you are because of all the things that we just touched on. And I think the last couple of years, particularly, I've definitely felt a kind of a nudge back to the point now. Would that stop me being who I am and expressing who I am? Again, I think as I've got older and you mature more in yourself and you're more confident in yourself, I wouldn't stop being who I am.
Yeah.
And I know much more now that I would stand up for what I believe in.
Yeah.
I would challenge poor behaviours, and I would happily be unpopular as a result of that. And if the organisation didn't want to respect that, then the shoes don't match the bag, and I'm out of here, right?
And those shoes got a match.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I read this quote the other day, which I took a screenshot of because I thought I must share it with you, right? I've got it here. And it's the Brené Brown quote. And she said, there'll be times when standing alone feels too hard, too scary, and we'll doubt our ability to make our way through the uncertainty. Someone somewhere will say, don't do it. You don't have what it takes to survive the wilderness. And she said, this is when you reach deep into your wild heart and remind yourself, I am the wilderness.
Oh, I love that. Is that Brave Wilderness, the book, from the book?
It is,
yeah.
And I saw it the other day and I was like, that is so true, that sometimes you have to be the one who's comfortable being uncomfortable in those situations to create this space where people...
for other people.
That's
so powerful,
yeah.
James. That's so, and it made me quite emotional.
Well, so many people have gone before us and suffered real detriment, real detriment.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like there's something on us,
of course,
to not be pushed backward, and we're only going to create these really strong, safe environments if people like us continue to stand up for them.
Well, yeah, I really, really hear that, and I feel like I needed to hear that because actually, as you rightly say, it's lonely. Leadership is lonely.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But then, obviously, for me, having started a business, I'm like, whoa, this is literally all on me.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that. And do you think, a question on like leadership, because as you've become obviously more influential and, in all aspects, not just within your organisation, but also now in the wider profession, you are very well, influential and well regarded. Do you think that has given you confidence in terms of being able to be bring that authenticity into the way that in who you are work-wise?
Yeah, I think when last year, and you kind of ranked as like number one most influential, there's half of you that's like I don't know how this happened, but number one most
I'll
influential.
take it,
Yeah, of course. And it's on your CV, it's on LinkedIn.
You get it straight on, get that signature
within 1 hour. LinkedIn is updated.
God. As you're making your way to the
absolutely back to the tube, because you know that big board where it has all the rankings. I didn't steal it.
I said,
you? Yeah, I said to Carissa, "Can I have that board? That's what you're going to do with it." And she said, "Oh, we'd probably just get rid of it." So this massive.
Can
board,
I have it?
Well,
no. Can I have a picture of it?
I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah. You're like, I want to keep that for me.
It's on my wall. It's in the utility room in the house. It's in the room.
I love this.
Yeah, in the middle of the room.
You take your flowers.
I took it. And I put it on there because I thought, do you know what? It's never going to happen again.
Well, and you're right. And now you're a Hall of Famer.
So proud of it because it's testament to the kind of struggles that you have along the way. So that's like half me's like that, and then your other half is like, oh, maybe I shouldn't like. I want to strike the balance of like not gloating or being arrogant about it. Yeah. Definitely not arrogant about it. I feel I straddle this all the time. Yeah, but I feel very grateful that I've been recognised in that way, and that others have seen kind of me as influential. I see so many others by far more influential in the kind of really difficult space of HR and standing up for different groups of people. You think about so people like Roger Klein, for example, often is on the list. And I think to myself, he is someone who should be much higher. Yeah, I think because of some of the work that he's done. I also looked at the list this year, and in the top 10, only 3 were women. Yeah, and I think that's really interesting as well to think about. The profession is 70% women. Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. But then if you come back to like, why is that then the case? So, like, what's the root cause of that? So is it that when you kind of are invited to make nominations for the list there's like a research company that then kind of goes through a process of defining the list on behalf of HR Magazine. That I think sometimes women just aren't as confident in
expressing, shouting out about.
And we know that, like, there was loads of research years ago that said men are very good at applying for jobs where they don't have the qualifications for, but they just chuck an application in. Women don't do that because they kind of go through the list and are overly critical about it. But there are brilliant HR leaders who are women up and down the country.
Agreed.
I've worked with many of them.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if we saw more women in that top 10 next year.
I love that. Interesting. Tell me more about integrity and being you.
Yeah.
Why did you want to focus on that? Tell me about that.
So integrity is everything in the relationship, for me, in relationships,
I totally
personally
agree.
and professionally. And in your personal relationships, obviously integrity comes in honesty, connection, all of those things. And I don't think it's materially different at work, particularly when you're a leader where you're hiring people around you, and it's so important to get the right team around you, whether you're running your own business and you've got associates, or whether you're in a firm where you're kind of hiring people. And I think it's really, really important to get people who bring the same kind of values as you. That doesn't mean that they just nod along to everything that you say, but they have the same values, kind of core values, and integrity. And acting with integrity is one of those real things.
Yes.
And I think, as I've worked in like so many different teams, not everyone brings a level of integrity that you might reasonably expect, particularly in kind of senior roles.
Okay.
And I think it's sometimes just a word that they don't have integrity or they do have integrity. But if you break it down to what it actually means, for me, it's about loyalty, honesty, being comfortable, challenging and being challenged, and vice versa.
Saying what you'll, matching what your beliefs with what you,
and like even when the cameras aren't rolling, it's that kind of culture is about doing the right thing even when no one else is watching.
100%.
And I think integrity is the same. I think it's a bit kind of a subset of that, and that's how you kind of build high performing teams. That's how you build the teams of people who are able to be honest with you and kind of feel psychologically safe around you, and vice versa. And I think sometimes, sadly, it's so easy not to act with integrity.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a real key.
Why do you think that is?
I think
I hear you, and I see it all the time.
I think some people are so driven to get on this, I want to be a X job title by 2, 3, 4, 5 years time, and they'll be kind of ruthless about getting there. I remember when Josh and I first got together, someone in his family said, you don't get to the job that he's got to without being ruthless.
About you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was so offended because I thought to myself...
But he would have probably said that from a position of, like, not a compliment, because that's what leadership,
I think it was part compliment, but part, like, or be wary.
Right.
That he's going to act ruthlessly around you. And I just thought, I don't think I'd ever describe myself or have ever been described as ruthless.
Right.
In 360s, which are often, like, anonymous or feedback stuff, appraisals. It's never ever a word which ever has come up. So, but I can see that people are ruthless in their desire to want to, do more, be better, get more senior jobs, and have a real kind of career ambition to get to the top. And I admire that.
Yeah.
But I don't think sometimes we use words to describe that journey as if it's negative.
100%. I really see that in my own journey as well.
I think I am hugely competitive with myself. I mean, if I play a sport game with you or something, I'm going to be highly competitive.
Yeah, but that ain't going to happen.
Listen, we were playing tennis at a few weeks ago, and Josh said, "Oh, do you want to play a little game of tennis?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my god, did you get like?
Oh, I said I'll warn you. I was pretty good at tennis years ago. So kind of go to serve, and it was like proper good, got him a good one. And he was like, right, we're not playing this.
Yeah, no, this is too much. You're like Monica from Friends.
But he's competitive as well. Both, again, competitive in games and stuff that we'll play, or like even if we play crazy golf, it's so competitive.
Yeah.
But we're both competitive to do better in our careers. But we're not competitive against other people.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we want to do well for ourselves, and then obviously that then brings lots of benefits for you and your family, whether that's financially or work-life balance or whatever it might be. So, but yeah, so for me, I think we kind of need to lose some of the negativity that we attach to some of these words.
Yeah,
if someone lacks integrity or they're ruthless. I guess seek to understand why.
Listen to understand, not to respond.
Absolutely. Yeah. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right?
Absolutely, because those assumptions, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Let's talk about your final kind of topic on growing. I know you're a big kind of advocate of this, and you live integrity. You do what you say.
Yeah.
You've got a great network. You're very. Tell me why you chose that.
Yeah,
topic.
I'll do it in reverse. I'll tell you my biggest annoyance about network first.
100%.
So, if you write something on LinkedIn and people comment and they share and all that sort of stuff, and then underneath someone does something to promote their own business or something.
Oh my God, that happens all the time, right?
I delete those comments.
You're like, if you want to find out more about...
If I am writing something about, I don't know, on a topic X, okay, and people are interacting with it and we're kind of sharing different views, and I'm very happy to be challenged on my opinion. I've got into very healthy conversations and debates on social media where we're kind of seeking to understand each other's positioning or understanding. Really, really up for that, no problem. And then underneath someone will write, when we launched X business in this area on contact me for more information.
Yeah.
Don't use
of course,
my staff to elevate yourself. Or let's have a conversation and think about how we might co-write something if we think there's relevance.
Or you shouting them out, if you believe in what they're doing.
If you go back through my LinkedIn stuff or people coaching stuff that I've done, I'm really, really happy to elevate, people if that's the kind of thing that I can do. But it really, really irritates me, so I delete those comments. So if you're listening,
don't comment on James's
hijack
post.
my network for that. But on the flip side, I think the beauty of a network is to help and be helped.
100%.
Yeah. So it's not about the number of followers that you have; it's about the kind of interactions and the mutual benefit that brings.
100%.
And I think sometimes, again, people are so focused on how many followers or how many likes. And for me, it's never about... Media, exactly right. It's never been about that for me. I mean, it's great if you get a particular post that they really
that
get
resonates
really
with
strong
people,
traction. It's really, really positive. But it's when you also then need to help and contribute. So if you see... if I ever see a post and it's got no likes or reposts, but actually that person's coming from a really good place about what they're writing. You say something, you like it, reshare, and I think that's how you develop the network and you help grow other people's networks too.
What would be your top pieces of advice to anyone listening who's looking to grow their network? Top 2 or 3 tips.
So definitely help and be helped.
Okay, love that.
So don't just grow a network for right now. Grow your network for the next 3, 5, 10 years, because a lot of those people you'll come into contact with 3-4 years down the line, and they'll say, I did this for you, or you helped me do this.
So
of course, grow your network for the long term.
Love that.
Not just the here and now.
Love.
I think the second thing about network is kind of a bit like a relationship. You have to feed it. Otherwise,
it's
dead
it's
plant
like a
in the
plant.
corner,
Yes,
100%.
I hear you. Yeah.
So you have to feed the relationship.
I'm a bit nervous because I've been off LinkedIn for all of August because I just wanted to breathe.
That's okay.
Socials. Yeah,
that's okay though.
I'm like, I hope I haven't killed any.
But then that'll be the third thing, though, isn't it? It's about how you manage that time and
right.
that network. Because sometimes you do need to. And I see loads of people on social media say, I'm just taking a break.
A bit of a break. Yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to take a break from social media, and if you're going away or just taking a month out to focus on other stuff, I think all of those things are absolutely fine. But I think when you come back to it, it's kind of that freshness,
Yeah, of
and
course.
just keeping those three helpful points, which
Yeah,
is you
100%.
kind of keep feeding it and
Yeah.
allow yourself to be helped.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And thank you so much for
It's
coming
okay.
along. Second time
Again,
round. We didn't
again.
get around to skincare this time, but literally I still need to talk to you about this.
Yeah, we did.
But James, every time I chat to you, I'm just always feeling so inspired. I also think your humility shines through, your integrity, which is the word you were talking about, shines through. So thank you honestly for trekking back to record this because I have help this time round.
Yeah. Well, listen, as I said, congratulations.
Thank you.
Genuinely congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
On being number 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great achievement.
Thank you.
Maybe number 1 next year.
Well, let's hope.
And then Hall of Fame.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
that's the plan.
That is the plan. 100%. No, but thank you so much. Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah,
and thanks for listening, everyone.